right, welcome back. This is the third session. In this particular section, I'm going to talk to you about the E of our little acronym. If you remember, there were 5 parts of our acronym that spell the word NEEDS. So there's nutrition, exercise, education, drugs, self-monitoring. Today we're going to talk about this one, which is exercise. If you can go back with me to that little example about our metabolic hotel. When we checked in that room and we ordered our cheeseburger, but the cheeseburger could not get into our room. What we find is that for many people, this is the common problem with diabetes, is that the food that they eat piles up in their bloodstream, which is the analogy to piling up in the hallway of the hotel, and it cannot get into the cell. So we don't know why that is. That we've given it a nice little term called insulin resistance. But why you're resistant, we don't know. We have found that there are things that improve insulin resistance. In my industry, in the pharmaceutical industry, there are lots of drugs that are touted as insulin sensitizers. They make the insulin work again, and that's great because now you can simply swallow a pill and your blood sugars will get better. But it's not the best way. The best way to sensitize your insulin, if you can, is to engage in exercise. And I'm going to give you a couple of guidelines about your exercise. But what happens is when you hit those exercise guidelines, we burn up the reserves that are in each of your cells. And that reserve is called glycogen. Glycogen is glucose that's in the cells, and particularly I'm talking now about muscle cells. That's how your body gets energy. It does not want to use glycogen, just like you would not want to eat in that little refrigerator. But if it's starving, if it's looking for nutrition, but the sugar that's in the blood cannot enter into the cell, then it's forced to use glycogen. So when we exercise, we exhaust the glycogen in the muscle cells. And what happens is when those glycogen stores are depleted, and we don't know why this is, the body becomes very sensitive to insulin again, and now it wants that food that's in the bloodstream to come into the cell. But exercise makes this happen. And there are some interesting things about exercise that I think are fascinating. The benefits of exercise can persist for as long as 48 hours. We really would like for you to exercise every day, but some people who can't, if they can just do 3 days a week, we still get the benefit of that insulin sensitivity improvement. So exercise is going to be very crucial for your diabetes because it makes the insulin work again. And I wish I could tell you why that is, but we don't know. I'm going to list, I'm talking to you like I would talk to you in the pharmacy, and I've listed here on my legal pad in front of me some reasons why exercise is beneficial. And I have about 8 or 10 things I'd like to go over with you that just, when I read this list, I look at it and I think, wow, I have to exercise. I don't particularly like it, but I can't not avail myself of these benefits. So here are the benefits that we know from exercise. And this list came from the National Institutes of Health. So I'm not selling anything. I'm not trying to get you to click a link or buy equipment. I'm just telling you that exercise does these things. So these are the benefits of exercise. Number one, people who exercise regularly have a higher cognition scores. They do better on tests where they have to manipulate data. They just seem to be more alert. Their mind is sharper. So exercise improves your mental capacity. Exercise, we know, increases flexibility and mobility. We're able to do more work. We can reach higher. We can stretch further. Things that are on the top shelf become easier to reach because we have flexibility and mobility. The third advantage of exercise is that it improves our cardiovascular health. If you have diabetes, many people also have blood pressure problems or cholesterol problems, which affect your heart. You may be on some medications to protect your heart. Exercise helps your heart work better. Makes it stronger. It makes it, you're able to have more stamina. You can work longer. You can do more work. The fourth thing I'd like to talk to you about is improved insulin sensitivity. And this is one of the things we've talked about being the hallmark finding of diabetes, is that people who have diabetes, for some reason or another, their insulin does not work, and we don't know why. We used to, when I first started practicing in pharmacy, we would give many people who had type 2, we gave them insulin. We would actually ask them to take more insulin. But we found out that for many people, that did not fix the problem. No matter how much insulin they injected, their blood sugars stayed high. And that is because the insulin that they were making was not working. So any additional insulin we gave them also did not work. There are some people who don't make enough insulin and who benefit from additional insulin. There are some drugs that ask your pancreas to make more insulin. So not all people have enough insulin. Many people don't make enough insulin. And so there are some people who need insulin. But for many people, the insulin that they make is adequate. It just doesn't work, like that key at that hotel we talked about. So we know that exercise improves insulin sensitivity. The sixth one, it helps your moods. Many people, when they exercise, they say, I just feel good. I went for my morning walk. I got some fresh air. I got some sunshine. It was a beautiful morning. My frame of mind is better. I'm not depressed. It helps your mood. Number 7, we know that exercise lowers your risk of some kinds of cancers, particularly colon cancer and breast cancer. If you have those things in your family, exercise belongs in your daily routine. Number 8, increased bone density. We know that when you walk and do strenuous exercises, that it stresses your bones, and your body senses that the bones are stressing, maybe they're beginning to break, and your body recognizes that, and so it makes your bones thicker. It puts more calcium down. It makes your bones stronger. So exercise improves bone density. Exercise also increases vascular flow. So if you have poor circulation in your feet or toes, or you have circulatory problems, if you can exercise, if your doctor will allow you to, that increased heart rate pumps that blood through your vessels, and you get better circulation in your toes and fingers. We know that exercise increases strength. If you consistently walk or do muscle building things like weights, you'll say, wow, I've gotten stronger. And something as simple as bringing in a gallon of milk in the groceries. When you exercise, you say, that doesn't seem as heavy to me. So we know that routinely exercise builds strength. The next one is endurance. Not only does it build strength, but it makes you able to work longer without being fatigued. So we're able to have a more productive day. If you work outside and you never exercise, in 30 minutes you may be exhausted. You say, I've got to go in and take a break. I have no energy. If you exercise routinely, you say, no, I'm working all day. I had a good day, and I actually have to quit because it got dark outside. The next one is as we age, we know that people sometimes can have some balance issues. Older people oftentimes fall. We know that exercise makes you stronger and helps your endurance, but it also helps your balance. The next one is decreased blood pressure. If you have blood pressure problems, regular exercise, we see a corresponding drop in blood pressure readings. The next one would be improved sleep. So if you're having trouble sleeping, many people I talk to, I'll say, tell me about your exercise. And they say, I don't. So we know that regular exercise helps you sleep better. And the last one I'm going to talk to you about is just a study that they did at Harvard. They actually tracked some of their graduates through the years, and they found that people that moved routinely 3 times a week or more during their life lived longer. So regular exercise just helps you live longer. So if I had a drug that would do all these things, if I brought you a drug and I said, okay, here's a drug that's going to help you think better, it's going to make you more flexible, it's going to help your heart, it's going to help your insulin work again, it's going to help your depression, you're going to lower your risk of cancer, it's going to make your bones stronger, it's going to help your circulation, it's going to make you stronger, it's going to make you able to work longer, it's going to increase your balance, take your blood pressure down, make you sleep better and live longer. You would say, I have to take that. I want that drug. And so that's what exercise does. So exercise is a critical piece. In my mind, I think equal to nutrition. I could argue even more important than nutrition in some ways. So when we exercise at rest, if you're sitting and you're watching this little video clip, your body right now is using mostly fatty acids that are in your bloodstream. That's how your body primarily operates. The first 15 or 20 minutes, your body begins to burn. It burns through that fat, and then it begins to burn the glucose that's in your bloodstream. And this happens at about 15 to 30 minutes. At the 30-minute mark, what happens is the glucose is usually burned out of your system, and your body then begins to deplete those glycogen stores. And that's like that little refrigerator we talked about in the room. So when your body we go beyond that 30-minute mark, your body says, goodness, we've burned all the fat, we've burned all the glucose, what are we going to burn now? And it begins to burn that glycogen that's in the cell. And normally, when people burn through that glycogen, and this is normally about 45 minutes to an hour, once they burn through that, you may have heard athletes say something like, I hit the wall. And that means that they have no more reserves. And so their body is now trying to, in order to meet the energy requirements, it now is beginning to burn protein. And it's beginning to break down muscle and organs. And people who are marathon runners, you may see them grab those little bottles of goo and squirt that in there. That's because they don't want to burn everything they have. They're trying to find some fuel for their body to use. And the body would like to burn that glucose that's in the bloodstream. That's what it would like. At rest, it burns fat in the bloodstream, but as you begin to exercise, it uses that energy that's in the blood, which would be like all those cheeseburgers stacked up out in the hall. It wants to get rid of those. So many people tell me that after they exercise, their blood sugars fall, and that is normal. The great benefit, though, happens really at or beyond 30 minutes. That's when those glycogen stores, and that's that little refrigerator we talked about, when those stores inside the cell are gone, the body is now willing to take blood sugar from the bloodstream back into the cell to recharge it, and insulin works again. We don't know why that is. It's a mystery to us. We don't know why exercise makes insulin work again, but it does. So we have to find some way to exercise. The guidelines, I'm going to tell you, you're not going to like it, but I'm going to tell you as your friend that we'd like to shoot for an hour every day. That would be our ideal. That's our perfect amount of exercise to get those good results. Many people tell me, they say, Mark, I don't have an hour. I can't give you an hour a day. And so I say, well, can you do 30? I say, well, I could probably do 30 minutes. And so we take that. That's right at the point where we start to get the magic with the glycogen, but we take it. And since the benefits of the insulin sensitivity last 48 hours, sometimes we can get away with 30 minutes 3 times a week. So the absolute bare bottom would be Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, 30 minutes 3 times a week. Most people can find that. The way I tell people the easiest way to do it is just walk 15 minutes away from your home. If you have a place where it's safe, if you walk 15 minutes away, then you just get to your point and you turn around and you have to walk back. So if you can do that 3 times a week, you'll see some benefits. If you can find a way to do an hour every day, you really see some great benefits. Usually some weight loss. Those insulin numbers begin to normalize. Not for all people. Many people have been a little lazy with their exercise. So when they implement an exercise program, they say, wow, I feel so much better and my blood sugars are normalizing and I've lost a little weight. And what I've noticed is that people that follow a good menu plan, and the one I like, if you watch the first or second video, we talked about the rule of hand. So people who say, if I follow this rule of hand, if I eat like this and I exercise 45 minutes to an hour every day, I feel great. And they would say, it's the best I've ever felt. So they have said to me, maybe not in these words, but this is my compilation of all the things they've told me. They say, I don't really care what I weigh or what my blood sugar is. I feel so much better. I'm sleeping better. I'm stronger. I'm more alert. I feel good. I'm loving food. This is it for me. And that's because we followed the ratios that are healthy for adults. And it follows this little pattern. We eat the right amount of protein, fat, and carbs. We just feel good and our blood sugars begin to normalize. So thank you for finding my little site here. I hope this has been helpful. If you need more information, you can email me. I'll be glad to meet with you. If you'd like additional information or some specific things I can talk to you about, please feel free to reach out to me. Also would encourage you to find a dietitian or a diabetes educator. Most of those people are affiliated with the hospital in some way. Some endocrinologists may even have them on staff. But if you don't know one, please find one. You can call the American Diabetes Association, and they can put you in touch with someone in your area. What I'm talking to you about in these 3 little clips that I've done are just very basic, very simple ways for you to get on track quickly while you're on your journey. As you move along, you may say, that was a great starting point for me. I'm a little more sophisticated now. But for many people, and the people I see at my drugstore, they just don't know where to begin or what to do. And I'll go over these things with you to help you. So to recap, the way that we manage diabetes are these 5 things: nutrition, exercise, learn something every day by educating, take your medicine with drugs, and self-monitor. So NEEDS is the way you manage your diabetes. And I'm glad you found me. I hope you have found these videos helpful. Have a good day.